All right. So I was going through my videos, and this is one of the reasons why have always encouraged people to record your own gameplay, because you can go back and watch the video and see mistakes that you made. You can look at your successes and you can be critical about them and see what you did. And in this particular case, I sung the eagle on hole number 7 during my practice round, and I went back to go see how the wind adjustment went, and I noticed a problem here. So let me play it and see if you notice what the issue is. So I'd like to put on 1 backspin, but I'm gonna have to put on more in order to where am I at in my club? There's max. There's mid. So I'm about mid club, which is 1.1. All right, so there was the beginning of the problem. So I counted. I'm using got my Hornet out. Where is my pen? Where is it? That's because I'm seeing it in the background. So I've got my Hornet out, and I counted it at 1.1 per ring at mid club, when in reality my Hornet at mid club is actually 1.4. So what I did was I added on to the wind. So if it was at 1.1, I did a 4-ring pull. And so that put me at 1.1, that put me at 4.4 is what I pulled for the wind. So if I had a 3.9 wind, and I actually made a 4.4 adjustment. So that works out to roughly 13%, a little over 12 and a half, 13%, right in that neighborhood. So I made a 13% pull at the 1.1 per ring and doing a 4-ring pull to get it to sink. But I should have been doing a 1.4. So if I do the math, if I take the numbers on how it worked for the shot that I took, and I work the math for the 1.4, then if I wanted to pull 4 rings, I would have counted it as a 5.6 mile per hour wind, and I would have done a 44% wind adjustment. This is why when people talk about that, like, hey, I did this shot, like, what numbers are you using, or how did you arrive at that? So, like, depending on how you're arriving at numbers, a little difference, like one mistake right here. Now, let's see how the mistake worked out. This is why I went back to see what the deal was. 4-4 pull. So I did 4 rings. Perfect. See if we can get that to drop in the hole. All right, so I got the ball to go in the hole, but my adjustment was like way off of, like, if I would have been paying attention, I knew that I was in my Hornet. But when I looked down on the bottom club of my short irons is my Hornet, and the bottom club of my long irons, and the page was folded right there. So when I looked down, I saw it was the bottom one. So my Grizzly is 1.1 at mid, but my Hornet's actually 1.4. So when people talk about the numbers can make a huge difference. That's why working with your club, so that's why it's so important to go back and record your own video so that you can go back and watch and you can see where you made. So like on that particular hole, do I play with I could play it like that. I could do a 13% wind adjustment and just count it as a 1.1 per ring. Or I can actually play it like I should and see where it puts me. So in this qualifying, I'm going to do a qualifying round, and I'm going to do the 1.4 per ring with a 44% wind adjustment. And now that was against a headwind. I will say that I find that on holes like this where we've got a lot of sand and we've got a lot of stuff going on, we're close to the beach, that in the past, Playdemic on these particular holes, headwind was huge. So that may not be what I need to do if I have a tailwind. Or if I have a due tailwind, it might be exactly what I need to do, but if it's crosswind, I might not need to do any wind adjustment at all. Well, I'll have to see how it plays out. just a little thought process on how a mistake can. That's why it's so important to go back and just watch your own video. Thanks for watching.